All right, the new bike has arrived. No one guessed the bike, the build, and the color. I did have a winner though that I picked. I'll say the most commonly submitted answer was an Ibis, particularly the Ibis Ripley, followed by probably the Giant Rain. Both of those really good guesses, and then followed by Yeti. The SB130 I think was the most common Yeti that was guessed for this giveaway. Want to know what it is? All right, let's look at the box. So we know it's engineered to party, and it is a Transition. So congrats to those of y'all who guessed Transition. It's the Transition Sentinel GX build, but I'll open the box to tell you the color. This is a big box, by the way, which tells me this thing is almost assembled, which I'm really stoked about. I did not want to have to put together every component of a bike. This is the first Transition that I've ordered, and I'm going to see what is involved in putting this together. And Dawson's home. Yeah, please don't hit my tripod. It's going down. I'm taking you on a cross-country ride to punish you. Oh, it looks good. I'm going to make a whole separate video about working with Transition and why I chose Transition as my next company that I want to start testing some bikes with. It's a little bit of a story behind it, which is really cool. So that's going to be a whole separate video. You'll want to stay tuned to that one. I'll talk about the ordering process, the demo process. It was all really good. I'll just say Transition kind of reminds me of Niner, that really cool vibe boutique brand located in a great area for riding. Pretty much fully assembled. They even ran the dropper seat post line through the frame. Saddle's already on the seat post. Looks like I just need to put on the handlebars. Can you see the color? Gunmetal gray. It was this or the red, and I was ordering the bike on my iPad in bed, and I showed the colors to my wife, and she said go with the gray. So that's the reason I went with the gray. Even though I demoed the red in Washington and it rode really well, hopefully the gray will ride just as well. All right, let's pull this thing out. Okay, here it is. The Transition Sentinel in gunmetal gray. Beautiful bike. Sometimes in the video you can't tell how good a bike looks, especially online, but I can tell you this color, I'm glad I went with this color. I actually do like this better than the red that I saw in person in Washington. So I've still got to do all of my setup, and I'm going to do a proper first look video that I typically do where I really show the components and talk a little bit more about the bike. But I've still got to set up my suspension, put some spacers of the stem down a little bit, and do some final tweaks. I am going to make a modification on this bike. So you'll notice on the front wheel there's no rotor installed yet, and I purposely did not put that on because I've ordered a set of Stan's Flow carbon wheels. I love the way this bike rides, but to make an awesome bike ride even better, put on a set of carbon wheels. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm really stoked. The only problem is they're a little back ordered, so it may be another week or two. And I'm also going to put on the IRC Tankin tires that were sent to me to review. So I'll basically just leave these wheels set up like they are with these tires. Other than that, we're keeping the bike exactly like it is. I did put on clipless pedals. I'll be running flats sometimes on this bike, but I'm going to start off with clipless pedals because that's what I'm most familiar with, and I really just want to kind of see how this bike rides and get used to it before I switch over to flats. Oh, and I got to give one shout out to Transition. This and a Niner are the only bikes that did not come with a dork disc and reflectors installed. So I don't know. I like that. All you really have to do on these bikes is put on the rotor on the front wheel, put the front wheel on, and put on your pedals, put in the seat post, attach the handlebars, tighten everything up, and you're good to go. And one final note about the build is all the cables came pre-installed and cut to the proper length, so you don't have to shorten the cables, which makes it a lot quicker to get the bike going. All right, so it's a couple days later. I've got the suspension set up and ready to go. This bike absorbs bumps on the pavement like no other bike I've ridden. That's a joke. I'm kidding. I haven't ridden this thing on the trails yet, so still getting it set up. I did find out that the Stan's CB7, the Flow CB7 wheels, are on back order for like a month, is what they told me. So I'm gonna check back in another week or so and May have to just ride the flow wheels. I was thinking about just not riding them so I could sell the wheels that came on this bike, but it might be nice to do a little comparison of the alloy wheels that came on this bike and the carbon ones once they get here. So that'll wrap up this video of me announcing the new project bike, the Transition Sentinel. I will do my first look video in another week or so stay tuned to the channel for that one where I really go into detail of the components and everything. And finally, I want to congratulate the winner of the channel giveaway, the person who got the closest to guessing what my next project bike would be. And that is Arthur Sinclair from Ireland, who ironically also rides a Transition. He rides a Transition Scout. I asked him what type of riding he does. He says mainly natural trails in the woods, but a ride on some nice flowy trails at times as well. So congratulations, Arthur Sinclair, for winning the Garmin Edge 130. All right, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.